Bannock County WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160. Jon Mozes and the Altoona Curve spending the week in Akron this week, taking on the Akron Rubber Ducks. The Curve coming away with a 9-8 loss last night. It's been a pretty solid week for them, though. Let's talk to Jon this morning. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. So what are you on? You're on the fifth tee right now?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Good Park Golf Course here in Akron. Had to wait out about an hour frost delay this morning, but the sun is out, so that's good news.
How you swinging?
Well, 2 doubles to start the day is not ideal, but nowhere to go but up, right?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. If that group behind you has to play through, let them.
Yeah, we'll see if they can catch us. It's only 2 of us this morning, myself and Blake Butler, our integrated baseball performance coach.
Yeah. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. Nice and chilly. All right, Jon, let's talk some Altoona Curve baseball. Last night a 9-8 loss, but man, Peguero keeps hitting, doesn't he?
Yeah, Liover's really impressive now. That's an 8-game hit streak for him, hitting about 500 in this stretch. I mean, we had some sense coming into the season that Liover could really swing it, but boy, the last 8 or 9 games, he's really turned it on. It's been fun to watch.
I bet you. What is it about him? Because we think of him as a small guy. He's not all that small. Number one, he packs a little bit of punch too.
He certainly does. You know, he's got a short and compact swing. You know, he definitely has a good idea of starting to think along with pitchers. You know, you and I have talked about how young players sort of have to think along with pitchers during at-bats, and Liover's starting to do that a little bit, which is impressive for a guy at just age 21.
Yeah, absolutely. So he seems to be flying through the Pirates minor league system. Nicki Gonzalez has run into some trouble here this season, having a bit of a time adjusting to Double-A pitching, huh?
Well, you know, I think that's part of the learning process for some of these young players, and you know, Nick, even though he hasn't had great contact at times this year, showing off great plate discipline. Top 3 in the league in walks entering play today. You know, had a career-high 3 walks in a game against Richmond about 2 weeks ago now. So, you know, I think that that's a good indication that even though he's not making all the extra base hits and hitting for the high averages we were expecting, but, you know, he's still having quality plate appearances at the plate. Yeah,
absolutely. There are other names that appear regularly in Curve game stories. One of those names is Lolo Sanchez. Great hope for Lolo heading into last season, and, well, those hopes continue. He's a pretty strong candidate.
Yeah, I think so. You know, Lolo's a pretty intriguing profile because he can really run on the base paths, plays a very good center field, and, you know, he's got more power than I think you would expect when you hear about a guy with the kind of speed that Lolo Sanchez has. You know, it's been sort of interesting to watch manager Kyron Madison and his coaching staff negotiate the 4 outfielders together, or at least until earlier this week when Jack Sawinski was recalled to the big leagues. You know, keeping those guys to get regular at-bats every week. And, you know, Lolo's been outstanding to start the year. I'm excited to see more of him play.
Yeah, and the name Matt Frazier is starting to pop up again this year. Matt had a tremendous year last year, and then that was at Greensboro. When he came up to Altoona, fitting in, it takes a while to fit in, but Matt's starting to swing it.
Yeah, and I think that's a good sign for the Curve. You know, Matt, you know, coming up with a couple of hits last night, you know, he's starting to cobble it together a little bit. Just, you know, it hasn't looked real comfortable for him early on in the season here, but, you know, we know it's in there. We saw it last year. He had 11 multi-hit games out of his first 25 games played with Altoona a year ago. So it'll take a little bit of time for him to get back into the comfort zone, but, you know, there's still a really talented player in there.
The other day when Jack Sawinski and Tucupita Marcano got called up to the Pirates, I'm sure there was a pretty electric atmosphere there in the locker room for the Altoona Curve in the clubhouse, because they realized, wow, you can actually go from here to there and skip a step.
Yeah, you know, it was kind of a whirlwind day for those guys. You know, they took the bus ride with us from Altoona to Akron, and, you know, manager Kyron Madison got the call during that bus ride yesterday that Sawinski and Marcano were being recalled to the big leagues, and we gathered everybody in the lobby as we arrived in the hotel in Akron. And, you know, for Kyron Madison, that was the first time that he had a chance to tell players that they were going to the majors for the first time. And, you know, to be able to do it in front of the entire team like that, I think was just a great moment for those guys because this group really celebrates each other as much as they celebrate their own success. And I think that was like a really cool moment for those guys to not only see Sawinski and Marcano get the news and then celebrate with them in that moment, but good reminder for those guys that you're not that far away when you're playing in Altoona.
I just had this vision of him telling Sawinski and Marcano during the bus ride, hey, we're going to drop you off at the next town, pick up a car, and head on down to Pittsburgh. At least he let him ride to the hotel, huh?
Yeah, we were a little concerned that maybe we would have to make a pit stop in Pittsburgh, but I guess had the timing worked out better, maybe we would have known to do that on the way there, which would have been a good stop, one of those good ones to have.
Yeah, but a couple of the other fellows probably would have tried to sneak off that bus and get themselves a Pirates uniform at the time.
I certainly would have too, Todd. Don't worry.
Hey, Carmen pitched well the other day. You've got some nice pitching performances this week. And Kyle Nicklaus going tonight is somebody that every time his name crops up, we want to find the results. These guys must be fun to watch, and Kyle especially.
It sure is. And, Kyle is a great story tonight. He's from Massillon, Ohio, which is about a half an hour from Akron. So he's going to have a lot of friends and family in the ballpark tonight, and he's facing off against the top Cleveland pitching prospect, Daniel Espino. And, the weather has finally warmed up a little bit. Looks like game time temperature will be in the 60s tonight, which is a good sign for all of us, because now there'll be a little more easy for everybody to sit out there and enjoy good baseball tonight. Nicklaus has been fun. Sort of got knocked around a bit there on Sunday, but, he's got the tools to be a major league starter, and encouraging to see that outing from Carmen on Tuesday night. It's
kind of interesting to me watching what we've watched this week with the Major League Baseball pitchers talking about the differences in the baseballs and how inconsistent it is. Do they talk about that in the Curve Clubhouse?
I pinged that question off a couple of guys because a friend of mine's a writer for Baseball America and was asking that question, that he had heard from some other folks that maybe the baseballs were sort of a little funky early in the year here, but I hadn't heard. But amongst our guys, I hadn't heard anybody say that the balls felt different or sort of it didn't feel good. So I think we're okay. I hope that's not a concern for us, though it has been a concern in the big leagues.
Yeah, you wonder at the beginning of a baseball season if they're trying to use up last year's baseballs that were left over before they mix in the new ones, or what the story is with that. But that's just been an interesting conversation to watch, and you hear guys like Garrett Cole, and you see the numbers since they did the spider tack stuff last year, and how that's affected his pitching. These young guys, they're watching all of that, they're seeing that as well, and at least while they're there in the minors, they get a chance to adjust to all of that. So
for sure, and that's unfortunate that's been a conversation with the game now in the last couple of years. Every year, it seems like there's something going on with the balls. It's very strange.
Yeah, it is. All right, so have you swung yet on the tee? Are you off the tee now?
Oh, yes. We are approaching the green here on a par 5.
What did you do?
And Blake Butler just dropped one about, within 5 feet of the pin. Well done. Nice chip, Blake.
So that noise a couple of minutes ago was you swinging, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Did you put it in the fairway?
I missed the fairway, but I've since hit 2 quality 4-iron shots, and now I'm going to chip onto the green here for par. And if it goes in, that would be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun, but very unlikely. You had to hit 2 4-irons. I mean,
well, the second one I was looking at a tree, so I sort of had to keep it low. But I was still 220 out, so I had to.
There you go. All right, couple of seconds left here with Jon Mozes as he's in the middle of a round here and chipping onto the green. John, you'll play the rest of this weekend series against Akron. Then you are home next week. What's on the schedule for next week for the Altoona Curve?
Yeah, so we're actually off to Erie. This is our lone 2-week road trip
of
the
true.
year for next week. And then we'll be home for 2 weeks. Looking forward to seeing the New York Yankees affiliate come into town. Somerset will be in, I believe that's May 10th through the 16th. We've got a reverse Punxsutawney Phil bobblehead giveaway presented by People's Natural Gas. And this is one for the ages, a giveaway you have to have. Punxsutawney Phil holding instead of...
We're losing him. We're losing him. He's putting, and we're losing Jon Mozes. Are you still there?
Goodness, you still have me? got me?
I got you now, yeah.
Okay. Well, I was just saying
That was
weekend.
all right. We're losing John here today. John, enjoy the rest of the round, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Well, thanks very much, Todd. Talk to you soon.
All righty, there you go. He's on the 5th in Akron. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160.